Welcome back. Let's see what message the collective needs to hear today. You're in a state of contemplation. You're resting. You're giving yourself self-love. You're giving your body a chance to recover. Maybe you're even taking this time to pray or to seek higher guidance. I see that just from this stained glass window here. I feel like this is you praying to the divine source, God, whatever you believe in, your higher self. And you're asking for guidance, for answers, for clarity, for truth. And maybe you're receiving those answers in your dreams while you're sleeping, or while you're meditating, or while you're alone. But maybe that clarity or the truth or the answer you were given, maybe it overwhelmed you, or the answer that you found overwhelmed you. It brought up a lot of emotions for you. And it sort of destabilized you in a way. Maybe you feel a little insecure. Or hypersensitive to the truth that you received. Maybe you just weren't ready to hear it. Maybe you feel like it was unexpected. But seeing as you're the Queen of Cups, you would have known about this already. You just didn't want to face it. But you took that time, you recovered. And now you're going back to square one in a way. You're working through it just like you always do. You're chipping away at the layers of that truth and your feelings. You're removing yourself from the emotional side of things and you're focusing on what is real, what's grounded in reality. You're taking yourself away from your emotions here because in your emotions there's lots of fear. You're like too close to the situation to understand. But as you took some time to rest, you realized if you just distance yourself just a little bit and you looked at the full picture, you understood you can take smaller steps to work your way through the situation and you're rebuilding yourself again. And you're making progress little by little, just like this guy, just slowly etching and building something real. And before you know it, as you're continuing to work on what's real, when you finally decide to look up, you'll realize you have all of these already created. And what you thought was starting from square one or disc one is really you just continuing to build. You thought you were stuck. What are you building? Okay. You're building off of we have the 7 of Pentacles and this is the 8. You're literally building off of this disappointment. You're just continuing. You just moved on to the next chapter, the next page. say, because here in this image, this person is admiring their harvest. Reversed, you were getting impatient. You thought this wasn't enough. You felt like it was taking too long. But here you are. You're back at it again. And when you take it out from just seeing it grow on this bush and you actually put it up on the wall like that, it actually looks more like a bunch of accomplishments. It actually feels like you've put in so much hard work into it. Versus here, you feel like you haven't really done any work, or you feel like you didn't really have your hand in it. But you're trying to take matters into your own hands now to make more, instead of just waiting for the harvest. You're making more for yourself. You're taking it's like you're putting in elbow grease to build something real. You're past the point of just preparing and fertilizing the soil and planting seeds. You're past that, that slow phase. You're past the waiting phase. You're past the waiting for the seed to sprout phase. You finally have enough of a foundation to get you started in building something stable, something real, something with your own two hands. This is a card of equal give and take. Partnerships, cooperation. So upside down, you're feeling separated from that cooperation like I was talking about. You've been trying to build a new life for yourself. And you were following your heart, following higher guidance, divine guidance. But you felt separated from the, how should I say this? You felt separated from the outcome. You felt separated from the harvest. Like you did all the preparation all the studying, all the learning, all the preparing the soil, planting the seeds. But you felt like you were watering the ground every day. Making sure everything got enough sun. Making sure the conditions were right. But once it started to flourish, you felt separated from the harvest, from the outcome. You felt like you didn't do anything. Because the let's call these like little flowers, right? The flowers just bloom by themselves. They basically do all the work, right? All you did was just nurture. You cultivated a proper environment for them to grow. And you felt like you didn't really take any part in that. You felt like all of this was, work from the divine, from God, from source, nature, just cycle life. Or like it's just normal. Like it's a fact that if you create the proper environment, then a plant will grow and it will blossom. But you don't get the same satisfaction as when you are getting your hands dirty. Does that make sense? Where you put in the effort and you are able to see that effort reflected back to you right away. Like if you're carving into wood, like you're gonna see, once you finish, you'll see the reflection of your work, of the time, the patience, the dedication you put into carefully etching out that star on the disc, right? And here you do feel accomplished. You feel like you actually took part in this. Like you feel like you did that. It wasn't just out of luck or by chance. It was because you put in the work. You did that. You created these. So while you've been trying to co-create a new life with the divine, with God, with source, with your higher self, with nature, however you want to see it. You were trying to co-create a life with life, if you want to say it like that. In a way, you still felt like life was still happening to you. You were doing all this work, right? Preparing a new environment, you're integrating your shadow. You're becoming healthier. You're exercising more. You're drinking more water. You're taking care of yourself. You're cutting people off that no longer serve you, no longer, or that never did good by you. You know, you're removing yourself out of toxic spaces, toxic people, toxic connections, toxic workplaces, toxic patterns. Maybe even stop consuming toxic media, toxic content online. Maybe you've been more intentional about that. So let's stick with that, right? Let's say you're intentionally stopping yourself from consuming negative content, right? Things that make you mad or sad, that completely dysregulate you emotionally or ruin your day. Maybe you stop following pages about pop culture or what the latest actor, actress is doing, or latest shocking revelation of something, or politics, or seeing the latest way that humans are destroying the environment, right? And so that's you preparing the soil, right? You stop consuming negative content. Maybe even stop using social media. Or you spend less time on social media, whatever the case. And then you start realizing the seeds start sprouting, right? You start seeing, you feel a little bit better. You feel a little bit happier now without being on your phone all day, without looking at or starting your day off with a negative news headline. And then once you start seeing all of these amazing effects it's having on you, you're connected with your loved ones more in real life. You're generally just overall happier. You're more present. You make more time, or you have more time for the things that actually bring you joy, your passions, your hobbies. You've been able to actually do those things that you've been putting off for months. Like you finally got around to cleaning off your desk. It's been gathering clutter day by day. because you just come home and you just kind of throw things on your desk. And you're like, oh, I'll deal with it later. I'll deal with it later. And every day is, I'll deal with it later. And then you never do. And then you never have space. You end up wondering why you don't have space on your desk. You reclaimed your power, your time, your emotions, right? But this isn't just something that happens overnight, right? Just like with this, like it's a flower doesn't bloom overnight. It takes time. It takes intentional effort. You have to water it every day. You have to make sure that there's no animals or bugs or weeds, or you gotta make sure it's protected. Make sure it's not damaged. It gets the nutrition it needs, the sunlight it needs, the attention it needs. But now that everything's finally flourished, you're like, well, wait a second, that just seems logical. If I just stop consuming negative content, or if I just stop watching videos that make me upset, if I just stop talking to people that make me upset, if I just stop comparing myself to others, if I stop going on social media to compare my life, my real life, to a curated snapshot of someone else's life. That might even be with a high probability that it's filtered or edited. You're comparing your real life to a little curated snapshot that they post about their lives, which is usually going to be the best parts of their life, or their highlights, or it's a fake highlight of their life. Because who would post about their real life or their downside, the miserable parts of their life? That doesn't get likes. At least not usually. So you just felt like this was all just pretty logical. If you just stop or cut out something bad from your life, then you're just gonna feel happier overall, right? Because you're no longer surrounding yourself by things that would just make you mad. If you know a content creator that makes you upset, why not just block them or scroll away, or train your algorithm to not show you that person, right? But instead, a lot of these social media platforms, they thrive on that. Because as humans, we tend to take action before we think. And those reactions are usually pretty strong. People usually will try to correct somebody, or want to insult somebody, or give people a piece of their mind when it's something that makes them upset. And what is social media built on? How do posts get traction? Through comments, through shares. When people are like, oh, can you believe this guy, the nerve of this guy? Can you believe the audacity of this woman? And they share it to their friends, family. Look at how ridiculous this is. And now that post gets traction and goes viral. And then you get people that like it because they want to be able to find it again. Or some people that actually genuinely enjoy it, or they see that it's fake and they put a like on it to make other people mad. Or they put reactions to it, because now it's not just likes, right? Now you can also share or show the world that something makes you upset, or makes you sad, or makes you shocked. But regardless of the reaction, it's still an interaction with that post. Which again makes it more important. Makes it go viral. It tells social media algorithm gods that, yeah, this post, this one's important. So when you step out of that loop, you break it. Logically, it only makes sense that you're just gonna feel happier, right? So you felt like you were completely separated from the reason why you're happy now, why you're happier now, why you're in a better place now. You feel like that one little decision was honestly just like it was just a consequence. It was logical, like that was just going to happen. That only makes sense. That wasn't through your hard work. Right? So in that sense you think life was still happening to you. And you felt like there's still unequal give and take between you and the divine, or you and life. You've been trying so hard to build this life for yourself where you wanted to be the creator of your own reality, right? But now you realize all you did was just break out of a loop, break out of a pattern that was bigger than you, bigger than me, bigger than us, bigger than any one of us, that was just holding you back. So when you went back to ask for clarity, and you were told to put in the work, you were like, but I've already been doing the work. What else am I supposed to do? You felt like you've been doing so many things, right? Just you've been putting all this time, this effort, dedication, blood, sweat, and tears into preparing the soil, right? To let these flowers bloom, because that, or these plants grow, because you thought that was a way, right? You're like, I did all this work. What do you mean? You're telling me I have to put in more work? And you got defensive. You got overwhelmed. You felt attacked. But you know that wasn't the truth. When you went back and you relaxed, you rested, when you integrated the truth there, you realize you've actually just been preparing yourself to take the next step. You would not have these discs if you didn't prepare the soil and plant them. You wouldn't have those discs to be able to carve and make these beautiful little wall plaques. You've laid your foundation, and now it's time for you to take action and build off of that. Now you're being given that opportunity to manifest your own reality, to craft your new life, craft and pave your way forward. Life was not happening to you up until this point, okay? You were actually co-creating with the universe. It felt like the universe was creating through you, but now the universe is giving you that opportunity. The divine source, angels, your higher self is giving you the opportunity. And giving you the permission, the authority to build what you want now. It's like if you were a painter, you were letting the universe paint through you to create this beautiful masterpiece. But now the universe said, hey, you got this. Now this is all you. Show me what you got. I started that painting, but I want you to finish it. So now it's your turn to build your life how you want it. You've broken out of the cycles, the patterns that held you back. What will you do now with this freedom? What do you want your life to look like now? And if you feel like sharing, you can put that in the comments. I'd be happy to read that. And if not, that's okay too. And I want to say, if this message found you, know that this was meant for you. Because you feel like your efforts were going unnoticed. But if this message found you, it's because I see them. Me. Alright? I am seeing that. I see the effort that you're putting in. I see how strong you are. And I know for a fact that you are meant to do big things in this world. You're meant to do amazing, wonderful things that will help people, that will help lots of people. Whatever it is that you have, whatever that gift is that you have, please share it. Share it with the world. Whether it's a story, it's a book, it's a painting, it's something handcrafted, it's a speech, a poem, music. Maybe it's more readings like this. Whatever your gift is, you know what that is. You've been practicing it for a while now. Now is your time to let that shine. Let yourself shine. Let yourself be noticed. Because you're meant for something better, happier, abundant, prosperous. And the world deserves to see that. The world deserves to see more true happiness. Genuine happiness. And if you're seeing this, it's because you are that person. you are capable of that, of being that example, because you are an alchemist. You transmute negative energy into light. And that's rare. And what the world needs right now is more of you. More of people like you. More of people like me. More of people like us. The most radical thing you could do right now is be happy. Is to love, forgive. So thank you for sitting with me today. I hope that this resonated with you. And if it did, let me know in the comments. Or even just dropping an emoji, whatever. I wasn't sure where this reading was going to go, but this was a heavy one. But yeah, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day or night whenever you see this. Don't forget to follow me for more readings. And I'll see you in the next one. Take care.